Parents are always asking me how we make the most impact to their child's writing style. In my years of teaching, the most useful tool I've come across for writing better, more interesting sentence was the mnemonic ISPACED. It's easy to learn, gives lots of different options for writers, and I'm going to share its secrets here. When we all learn to form sentences in speech and then later as a writer, we all follow a fairly standard pattern. We learn to write who or what the sentence is about, this is known as a subject, and then follow it with a verb, and as we grow, we learn to add more words to these. For many, we'll stick to this pattern in our writing, always starting with the subject, having a verb, and going from there. ISPACED throws this to one side by introducing 7 other ways of starting sentences that will make your narratives instantly more interesting. The best bit is you can start with a simple sentence and modify it using ISPACED. In this short video, I will introduce you to these steps. So what does ISPACED mean? Well, I is for ing words. Ing words are verbs that can tell you what the character is doing. S is for similes, a type of figurative language that is great in writing. P is for prepositions, words or phrases that tell you when or where something has happened. A is for adverbs, words that tell you how the action verb was done. C is for conjunctions, words that introduce new clauses. E is for ed words, or adjectives used to describe the subject. And lastly, D is for dialogue, reminding us that sentences can be started with speech. To demonstrate these, I asked one of my tutor students, William, to write me a suitably boring sentence. Fully understanding the brief, he provided me with the sentence, "The unicorn cartwheels." So let's start with ing. The ing part of ISPACED is quite simple. All you're doing with ing is picking another verb to add to the sentence. And on the screen you'll see lots of options. One word of warning with ing is that lots of children will take the existing verb from the sentence and rearrange it, putting that at the start of the sentence. This is okay, but of course it will then mean you need to find a new one to fit into the main clause. For my example, I'm going to use laughing. As you can see, I simply add the word laughing and remember to follow it with a comma. Job's a good one. Next, let's look at similes. We can add similes to the start of sentences too. A simile is a short phrase which uses like or as to compare the subject to something else. Common examples including like a fish out of water or as fast as a speeding bullet. These can test a child's creativity, and I will admit to struggling to find a good one for William's sentences. So, like a Catherine wheel, it is. Prepositions are one of the more common fronted adverbials and often need a phrase when starting a sentence. Prepositions are words which describe the position of the subject in either place or time. They can include words like on, under, before, after. They can be turned into prepositional phrases with a few extra words like before they entered or under the log. I've chosen a rather bland under the tree for my example, but I'm sure you can do better. Adverbs are words which describe how an action was carried out. There are literally thousands of them. Many, but not all, end in ly. Children can simply choose an appropriate adverb, slide it into the start of the sentence, and instantly improve that sentence. For this sentence, I've chosen happily. Again, I'm sure you could be more creative than this. Conjunctions are a vital part of writing more complicated sentences. They allow us to glue clauses, or short sentences, together into more complicated ones, with one being the cause or the result of another. There are lots of conjunctions we can use to start sentences, although it must be remembered they will need the rest of a clause with them. I've left some on screen here, which show the conjunction in the box and some example clauses that could go with them. For William's sentence, I've decided to use because he was happy. Because in this sentence is the conjunction, and the because he was happy is the full clause. Moving on to ed, this is a mnemonic device for adjectives or describing words that could be added at the start of sentences. For me, these are one of the easiest to use and are great for showing the emotion of the subject of the sentence. Look at all these great words that could be added to the front of a sentence. I chose excited. I'm pretty sure we can all do better than that. And lastly, D reminds us, of course, that dialogue and speech can be used to write sentences. Crafting good dialogue is probably worth a video in its own right. Look out for that one. But here are a few examples to illustrate the point. I decided to conclude this piece of work with, "This is so much fun," the unicorn cried as he cartwheeled. We hope this video is useful to you. ISPACED is just one of the tools we use when tutoring young writers. We're currently in the position to offer one-to-one and small group sessions across Key Stage 1, 2 and 3. So please check out our socials or visit www.ollivandereducation.co.uk for more information.
Thank you for watching.